We're supposed to be. What's good? What's good? Back with the review, and today it's with Nate. If anyone joins from my story, because we just started up, but we're gonna start off with Deebo Samuel talks. Apparently, that happened today. If you haven't seen it by now, I think you should have seen it by now, actually, unless you live under a rock. But Deebo Samuel requested a trade, and we'll see what he gets for a trade. We'll see where he goes. I've heard Kansas City is out on
Nope.
him.
Good.
Yep.
Good. Good. Good.
Yep. I heard that the report was that you guys are more
Yeah.
interested in drafting a receiver, and I
Which is not
fully agree.
shocking.
I don't think that's really shocking to me
I mean,
because why not? I mean,
just quickly. I mean, why would we trade for Deebo and then give him the contract that Tyreek got in Miami? Like,
I think
why
he
would we not just
actually
keep
wants
Tyreek?
more than Tyreek. That's the sad thing, guys. There was some
Still,
report that came out that he wanted to be the highest paid. And then he also went on to say that he didn't want to play the running back wide receiver hybrid. So we'll see what he does.
I don't get that. You know, I guess whatever, dude, do you? But like, you're not gonna be able to get that money. I'm willing to bet that.
I think he gets like 20, but he does need to prove like he isn't really the most reliable wide receiver in the league, if I had to be honest. He's good, but some people had him in their top five. Let's slow the roll here. Let's see how he does. He needs to get better at being a receiver first. So,
So
he
my
had,
thing about Deebo, right,
yeah.
is when it comes to wide receiver position, it's so stacked for talent that like it's really difficult for me to sit there and be like, yeah, this is my top five because they produced this year. I don't think you can do that. I think you have to go with a bit of consistency because at the end of the day, consistency is king. That's how you're going to be able to make it
I
in this
would
league.
take like receivers I like Tyreek Hill more than him. I like Stephon Diggs more than him. I like Devontae Adams. I like Justin Jefferson more than him. Those are
Give me
receivers that I like more than. Um,
if I'm going over Deebo, I'm gonna take Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, Stephon Diggs,
Justin
uh,
Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp is the one
I
I'm
would
trying
take
to think
Mike
of.
Evans over him. He's had 9 straight
I
years of
would, yeah, I'd take Mike Evans over.
8 straight years of
The thing
1,000 yards, and he
and
doesn't
not,
drop the ball. He doesn't.
well, Niners fans aren't going to want to hear this, but there's a case for at least 10 guys to be over him, where you could say that he's not top 10. And again, Niners fans aren't going to like that, but I'm serious because I think
The,
consistency is the big thing you have to take
the,
into account here.
I don't
He
think
played 15 games. I'm looking at his stats right now. He played 15 games his rookie year. He was targeted 81 times, caught 57 of them for 802 yards, which it's a solid rookie year. I'm not going to deny that. That's not top 5 money. That's not top 10.
I think if you I think even the more like interesting stat to really look at is the drop percentage. He was ranked number 1 this year, and he was ranked pretty highly last year. And I think he has this drop issue that if he can fix it, sure, he's worth some big money. But to me, he probably shouldn't be paid more than the top 10, 15 guys that I would probably take over him. I would even probably take a Keenan Allen. He's been consistent. 6 straight years of 1,000 yards. He's at 100 catches every year. There are guys that I would take over Deebo. Now, if you're talking about one season, sure, I would take him in the top 15. But even beyond that, I need to see more from him, and it's not just yards. Right? I'm not just looking at yards. I'm looking beyond that. I'm looking at, can he get better at catching? Can he become a reliable option? Because to me, if you're rated number 1 in drop percentage over Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb, and guys like that, then there's an issue.
So something that I think needs to be taken into account is how many times he gets touches, not just catches, not just targets, touches in general. The man was targeted 121 times this year, which is up there with Tyreek Hill, with Travis Kelce, as some of the biggest target amounts you can see. And the reason I use those two is because those two are famously used in the arguments of, oh, they just get force-fed targets. 121 is insane. It's frankly insane. I
He was
believe
up there.
Tyreek Hill had 120 is one of the best,
I
or
think
one of
he
the
was
highest. I mean,
there with Travis Kelce this year, wasn't he?
I believe so because Travis Kelce could stay healthy for most of the year, whereas um, Hill could not. Travis Kelce this year, so Travis Kelce without Tyreek Hill had 134 targets this season, which again, I understand that's very high, but that's also the best tight end in the league in an offense where his other option or the other option that you typically use isn't there for 3-4 games.
I do expect Travis Kelce to take a jump up in production, targets and everything. And he's going to be the number one guy. Maybe your number two guy is Juju on the offense. Number three.
We can get to the Chiefs talk in a second, but I think it's going to be interesting because I think that you have to take the thing about Kelce is I don't expect a jump because I think they're trying to get it to where I would rather have Kelce be 3 or 4 key touches than have him have 8 touches in the game. Does that make sense? I would rather have him there for that big moment. Would you want for 4 years rather than have him for
at number 10? Would you take Garrett Wilson to pair alongside Juju and MVS?
If I had my pick of any of the receivers, it would be Jameson Williams. But if Jameson Williams is gone, it's probably Garrett Wilson. Though Drake London is close.
I think like Garrett Wilson is one of the fastest. I think he has some of the best hands. I think he has some of the best route running.
He's the most complete.
It'll be interesting to see where he goes. I know that there's been talk of like number 8.
I see him going 8, although I've heard of him going as high as 4 to the Jets, which I don't see.
I don't think the Jets would take him at 4, but you never know. But would I say that's a bad pick? No, not bad. I think he could produce, and he could probably produce with.
The problem with him going there is he is firmly a Z receiver, and you could easily make the argument that they have that covered because you have Corey Davis, who's probably typically is going to play the slot. I believe his snap count was about 40% slot this past year.
Yeah.
And Elijah Moore was the Z receiver for them. So typically for them, you'd want an X, which means Drake London makes a lot of sense, especially at 10.
I think that's what they're going to go with the number 10. I think that's what they're most interested. I think that the Jets are most interested in Drake London or even Treylon Burks. Chris Olave, I think the steam, I've heard from some people is even maybe a number 12, Washington, maybe. That
11,
would be good.
But yeah, if he goes 11, I would be losing my mind.
And I wouldn't even hate like Garrett Wilson to the to Minnesota for like the future next to Justin Jefferson because let's be honest, I think with Adam Thielen,
dude, their wide receiver room is so empty, or their cornerback room, pardon me, it is so empty.
Think about this, right?
Their wide receiver room has one dude and 2 corpses.
You mean
it has what's left of Patrick Peterson, Cameron Dantzler, and then I don't even know who the other guy that I'm thinking of is.
I was gonna say I think that because here's the issue with the corner spot there, then they would have to probably trade back, and that's where you can probably jump up to because.
I think that's where the Chiefs are targeting myself because there's reasons they want to drop back.
Ahmad Garner and
Stingley.
Stingley are both going to be gone in the top 12. So it just depends on, because I think Seattle was selecting a corner. I think there's been a lot there.
I think makes not a whole lot of sense, but
I think Stingley fully there's like his best chance, I think, would be number 3 with the Texans. They've said that they want the corner.
From what I've heard, there's a lot of links for them to Sauce. Yeah. And a few of my friends, I have some friends up in Seattle who actually have been talking about how much the Seahawks are reportedly in on Stingley.
Yes.
Which, again, I heavily disagree with because you can likely get a franchise tackle at that point, try to set up this young quarterback that you've traded for instead of just leaving him to die. But, hey, whoever believes
that's what they're best known for. They're best known for ruining quarterbacks because they have no old line. I don't know exactly how this draft's going to go out. Because I'm going to go live for day number 1, as everyone may hopefully know by now. I will be going live for day number 1 of the draft. If you want to join the group I am having come on the show, you can join. Again, I think that day number 1 is going to be very interesting to see who goes where. Who would be the number 1 overall pick? I don't know. At this point, they're not going to.
I hope it's Trayvon Walker.
I think Trayvon Walker is just it's.
If there's a player that the Jags, who are known for taking number 1 overall picks and then just turning them into mush.
Yeah.
There's a player that I think they could do that with. I think that Trayvon Walker fits their mold.
Yes.
I like Hutchinson as a person, so
And
please.
you know what, guys? You can answer this for me in the comments. Like, what is this steam picking up from? Because I'm sorry that that's where most reports are going, that they're going to go with Trayvon Walker. Answer me. To me, I don't think, like, if you want to talk about talent-wise, not just potential-wise, because everyone brings up potential. I don't give a fuck about potential at this point. I'm talking about the best on that board. It's not Trayvon Walker. Trayvon Walker, to me, isn't a top 15 prospect.
I would disagree with you about top 15 because I do think he's shown the toolbox of an elite pass rusher. He's shown that he has every single move that you could want out of a pass rusher, but he's not been able to produce with it at a high level. But that could also heavily be attributed to the fact that he wasn't really asked to do that at Georgia. They really said, hey, Devontae Wyatt, you're 24. Go wreck him. The rest of them will keep him in the pocket. Get to him. And, that's a pretty good formula for success, as we saw them win the national – wait, am I losing my mind? They won the national championship, right?
Yeah, they won because, Alabama was down their top 2 receivers. Not trying to make excuses, but let's be honest, I think number 2, we already saw this. Kayvon Thibodeau is out. He's out. There's no chance that he's going to Detroit at this point. Dan Campbell.
Hutch.
It is Hutch. Yep. If Hutch is there, it's going to be Hutchinson. There's been the steam picking up that even like the safety out of Notre Dame, Kyle Hamilton, he's not even going to be top 10 pick at this point.
I don't think he should be. I don't think he should be top 5, but I think top 10 is a bit far.
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but there's these certain steams that are picking up. Like there was that one.
Weird. It's almost like people are starting to realize that safety isn't a premium position that you spend a top tier pick on. Wild.
No, you don't do that. But I think Stingley or Garner goes number 3. At this point, that's kind of where I'm at.
Which is just so weird to me because why would you not take your pick of the tackles? But okay.
I mean, because Lovie Smith, I guess, he loves corners, and he wants a corner so badly that he's willing to take number 3. And let's be honest, I don't think that
there is a chance you could get one of Stingley, Sauce, or potentially even McDuffie, or maybe even Booth. Like I think all 4 of those guys are fairly close. There's a heavy chance you could get one of them at 13.
I don't see why. You're definitely going to be able to get Booth or McDuffie at 13. Like McDuffie, I think McDuffie is like perfect position, would maybe even be Buffalo if he falls to 25 or 24 or whatever, because they need a corner number 2. They just lost Levi Wallace, and they run zone. And I think that if he was paired next to Tre'Davious White and probably the best safety duo in the league, you're set.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that that's a good fit. I don't necessarily think that that's going to be there. I don't think he's going to be there for one.
Yeah. I mean, it just depends how the draft goes out. The fact that there's this AFC West again, outside of the draft, like this AFC West, I don't think they're going to produce 4 playoff teams. At least 2. At least 3. I think to me 3 is probably the mark where you hit it with the AFC West because, like, my division winners. You have the Titans, you have, to me, the Bengals, and you have the I'm trying to think, AFC West.
Bills.
Bills, yeah, the Bills. And then outside of that, I think, you have probably the Raiders and Chiefs and Broncos or Chargers. 3 of those teams are probably going to make the playoffs. They're going to probably have 10-plus wins, and they're going to make it. There's some Colt fans that believe they're going to win their division, but I don't see them.
Look, I like the Matt Ryan move. I do. That does not mean that you're winning the division because at the end of the day, yes, you have a great rushing attack. You have Matt Ryan. Congratulations. Matt Ryan is throwing to Michael Pittman and to me. I may as well be the other receiver. It's empty. There's no one there. Like, no one is there for the other one.
They probably should draft a receiver this draft. Like, I don't know what pick they got, but
43. I want to say 43. I don't know.
They don't have a first rounder? Oh, damn.
Nope. They do not have a first rounder that was traded away. I'm gonna find out.
Yeah.
It was the Carson Wentz trade. It's one of the Eagles picks. Right.
Yes. Oh, wow. The the Colts are heavily interested in trading for Deebo Samuel, and we'll do whatever it takes.
42. Darn it. But no, if he goes there, like, congratulations. Now you might win the division if you're really lucky. You have to have a lot of luck to stay healthy there, but hey, good luck to you. The one thing I will say, though, when it comes to the AFC West is, I see a lot of people are just writing the Chiefs into third or fourth in the division, which is frankly just absurd. I've never seen a time period where the best quarterback in the division is written down as third or fourth. I mean, am I wrong?
No.
Like, I don't see that happening. Like,
I just can't wait to see, how this season goes. I'm not saying you guys are going to be third or fourth. I frankly don't. Maybe this is just me, but I'm not a firm believer in the Chargers. Like, until I see what they can do on the field, and maybe
I have to see them stay healthy before I'm willing to say they're going to win it.
I mean, let's be honest. Let's keep this real, right? Right. Safety wise, Derwin James is a injury prone player as fuck. He can't stay healthy. You brought back the same offense, really. I mean, you lost the tackle, and now your other tackle is about to get absolutely wrecked by whoever is going up against him, any team. I think your other tackle is Storm Norton. What a name! What a fucking
that dude. That dude is a creative player. I'm fairly certain.
He's a creative player, but he fucking sucks. I'm sorry, he fucking is trash.
Hey, all right. Look, they stopped playing after game 2. Calm down. Okay, they're gonna come back. He's got to be the swaggiest player, though. Let's be real. This man has got to be just out of his mind. And
that name is like the auto generated name that you just like. Yeah, let me.
That's the guy you draft in like round 7 when you give no shits anymore. But to be perfectly honest with you, like, I've seen things of them saying they're going to take offensive tackle. If they take offensive tackle at pick 17, you're going to get what, Penning? Please do that. As a Chiefs fan, do that. Please. Everyone wants to be like, oh, look at Penning's mentality. Oh, my God, he's such a vicious player. Yeah, he's so vicious when he hits. He's like a jackhammer that misses half the time.
He really is. Like,
his Senior Bowl highlights is 2 minutes long. His Senior Bowl lowlights is 4 minutes. That says all I need to know.
Hey, you know what? If they take him there, you know what? So be it, right? Charger fans believe they have the best pass rush in the NFL too. I don't know how you got to that.
Khalil Mack is a shell of his former self, and Joey Bosa has bubblegum as his ACL.
I was called crazy to say that Khalil Mack wasn't the same. Apparently, I'm just salty when I say that. I'm like, why am I salty that you got Khalil Mack and we got Chandler fucking Jones, who I would probably take Chandler Jones over Bosa, or not Bosa. Mack. I meant Mack.
Don't you say that. Don't say that.
I do think that the Raiders' pass rush overall is going to be better. I mean, Bylaw just had 7 sacks as a tackle.
I think it really depends because of health. Because I think if Joey Bosa stays healthy for a full season, and whoever they get to play the other defensive tackle spot, because Tillery's solid, but frankly, I think 17 should be used on Jordan Davis so you guys can actually defend the run. But hey, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. That's A-okay.
You can go lose week 18 again.
We'll send Creed Humphrey up the middle. He's enjoyed moving Tillery. He can enjoy moving the ghost of whoever you put next to him.
I think any team in the NFL can run 100 yards on that team every game if they don't get a D tackle that can run stop. Because I'm sorry, but if you don't get any run stop,
I think I might have a chance to start at DT for the Chargers. If I ate a few cheeseburgers, I might be up there.
Hey, you know what?
And look, I get it. It's a low, low hanging fruit to pick, to make fat jokes about the linemen. But no, seriously, you could take a guy out of D2 football, and I think that he might do a job. Oh my God, what's the dude? Missouri State, Eric Johnson, the guy that sounds like the most generic creative player ever. Yeah. I think he could probably do it. He could probably start there.
Dude, I just don't understand. The Chargers, to me,
who was starting there last year?
I mean, Uchenna Nwosu was his starter, and he fucking sucked at run stopping. You had, I don't even know, but whoever it was not good enough. They got apparently Sebastian Day Jones or whatever the fuck his name is. I don't know. He's not good at run stopping.
Okay, hang on. I have it. So this says they ran a 3-4, which I didn't know. That's okay. Interesting. Austin Johnson was apparently their nose tackle. You could not, like, you could show me 100 players and I could not, or you could show me 2 players and I can tell you which one isn't him because it's whichever one I guess. Sebastian Joseph Day is okay. Sure. If that's the worst member of your offensive line or your defensive line, sure. But Breeden Fehoko? Breeden Fehoko.
No, a Chargers fan really brought that guy up when he was comparing our pickups of the offseason. He's like, what we got was great on that defensive front seven. I'm like, who did you bring in the front seven outside of Khalil Mack, who's a shell of who he used to be?
Well, then,
and he named Sebastian J. Jones. And I'm just kind of like.
Well, like, I don't know. I like, don't get me wrong, I like Kenneth Murray. I think he's a good fit for them. Why they have Troy Reeder listed as the other starter instead of Drew Tranquill doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because Drew Tranquill is better. Okay.
You know what? Whatever they want to do and whatever they feel like they need to do to try and stop every other team from running over their front seven, sure, whatever. Make it be, whatever. Who cares? I'm sorry, but they don't really have a strong front seven that can defend the run. And I'm sorry, but the fact of the matter is, right, and I think J.C. Jackson was a great pickup, but, like, is he going to go and stop is he going to stop Devontae Adams? No. I mean, and who else do they have in that corner room?
It's Asante Samuel. That's the only other real notable guy.
He's starting the slot. So their outside corner too.
He's listed as the left cornerback rather than slot corner. Slot corner is listed as Michael Davis.
They learned that they need to put him on the outside so he can get burnt more. Okay. I don't know who their slot corner is, and I frankly
Michael Davis.
Yes, Michael Davis. So yeah, one solid corner.
Hang on, quick thing, real quick. Whoever made this graph, I hate you, and I think that you should learn how to do programming because for no reason should there be 4 guys listed at right cornerback as backups and nobody at left. There's no reason for that. When there's only 3 spots, put 3 people, put somebody else behind the left cornerback. It's not that difficult.
It really isn't. But like, I mean, okay, let's be honest. Whoever's starting behind Derwin James, get ready to play like every single snap of the season because his ankles are literally made of a.
My man's name is Aloha Gilman to start behind him. It's probably Aloha or something along that. It's Alohi, but I want to believe it's Aloha Gilman.
Well, whoever's the backup to Derwin James, just get ready to play a shit ton of snaps because his ankles are made of literal. I'm trying to think of a good comparison without trying to offend.
Cotton candy.
Yeah, sure. He's made of cotton candy. He cannot hit hard without getting hurt.
To all the people who are out there, he shuts down Travis Kelce for 1 quarter every year. The 1 quarter he's healthy for.
And then he gets it.
Look, I love him. The dude he's fun to watch. He really is. But the problem with him is that he tries to get physical with a tight end. And a tight end is big enough to bench press you. I don't think that you want to do that. That is what we call a losing battle.
And he still hasn't learned up to his 5th year in the NFL now? Jeez.
I don't know, man. I mean, the way that he plays, like I respect him for it, but it's like, dude, at one point you got to prioritize you. Like at some point you have to prioritize yourself here.
And I'm sorry, like their receiving corps, like outside of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, who to me $20 million for a wide receiver too isn't ideal. Now you gotta think about what happens because we saw, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen both go down. What happens when they're both out? Well, you gotta start.
It's the Jalen fucking Guyton show, baby.
There you go. Jalen Guyton. Yeah, I don't think he's good enough to step up and be your wide receiver 1 for a game. But, whatever you feel, right? Yeah. Their receiving core is pretty ass. Hate to say. Outside of two guys. But yeah,
The thing that I think the place that I'm worried about their offense, aside from right tackle, because again, Storm fucking Norton, dude, what a guy. But aside from him, like the other spot that worries me is tight end. Like, and I know they have Jared Cook, who I feel like rode dinosaurs into first grade. My man probably sat behind Jesus in the second grade. Like, the dude is so old that he watched The Big Bang. Like, the bro, he's going to jump off, or I can't say he's going to jump off cliffs. He's going to drop off a cliff at some point. And I'm just waiting for
they got Gerald Everett, right?
Oh, you actually meant that legitimately. Okay.
No. Yeah. What was he gonna be? Is he have injury issues?
Well, let me find out. I don't believe so, but I'm not entirely sure.
The guy who's been a tight end too for his entire career, so I don't know.
No, he's done fairly well. I mean, he's missed 3 games there, 2 games last year, so 5 games in total through 5 seasons.
Oh, he's relatively stayed healthy, but like
he's the definition of an average tight end. Except his catch percentage is way up. What?
Probably because he doesn't get that many targets.
That's because he was playing with Russell Wilson. I get it now. He was playing with Russell Wilson rather than playing with Jared Goff. It always comes together. So, last year was his best year, which isn't surprising again. 478 yards, 4 touchdowns, 76% catch percentage on 63 targets, which, again, solid, but you have a lot better quarterback than you did the other years, so that's not really shocking. Tight ends are expected to have higher touchdown numbers typically, which is quite low. Again, probably a tight end 2. Can he be tight end 1? I don't really think so, but hey, if you want to bet on him at age 27, taking that next step, you do you, man.
I mean, everything we've just listed, I just don't believe in the Chargers. But hey, you know what? For the people who are firm believers that they're the winners of the offseason, when are they not winners of the offseason to you guys? I don't know. That's kind of just the question of the day.
At this point, it may as well be their participation trophy. But I mean, and I don't want that to come off as like I'm hating the Chargers. Like I love Herbert. I think he's going to be a great guy. I even have him inside my top 5 quarterbacks. I think that he's probably the second best quarterback in the league, or not in the league, in the division right now. And I don't feel like that's insane to say.
I would probably take a healthy Russell Wilson, but
I think that I also take a bit into account of Herbert has been here with his team. Russell's new, which again, it's not a huge knock against Russ, but Russ had an injury last year, fell off a little bit because of that. His stats didn't look as good, and again, he's in a new system, so. I have Herbert as my quarterback 2 in the thing. And, where do you want to go from here? You want to go to the Broncos?
Yeah, we can talk about the Broncos.
Sure. So my problem with them is all their wide receivers are what-ifs.
Yes.
What if we had a good quarterback? And now you have that. And
Jerry Jeudy, a proven guy. Cortland Sutton, I think, has had a really great start to his career.
It's weird. As a Chiefs fan, I think people underrate him. Because people seem to think like, oh, he's just this guy. He's not great. I mean, give me 1 second. Let me pull up his stat here. He's very underrated. I feel.
No, he's a good receiver. But again, your starting tight end is Albert Owebanam or whatever the fuck his name is.
Hey! I'm from Missouri. You watch your name about Alberto. All right, we love Alberto. Okay.
He's your legend, right? Him and Drew Lock are your legends.
Bro. No, we don't respect Drew Lock. The second he said he wanted to be an enemy to all of the people that thought Mahomes was the savior of Kansas City, that was when we did not like Drew Lock anymore. Dorial Green-Beckham, actually. Yeah, we'll take him. Okay, we'll put him in our Mount Rushmore. But no, when it comes to Cortland Sutton played 16 games in 2019, had 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. Good season, right? I think that is a very solid season. The concerning part is 58% catch percentage. It's a bit low. But you know what? Fine. It's your first big year. I get it. No problem. 2020, I'm not even going to take into account. He played 1 game, had 6 targets. I don't think it's fair to count that. Last season, played 17 games, targeted 98 times, had a 59.2% catch percentage. It's higher. It's not great, but it's higher. And for all the people out here saying, oh my God, it's just because of the targets he gets. don't start that. I'm a Chiefs fan. I can tell you that Travis Kelce and I'll even pull it up. Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill's catch percentages are definitely higher than what that was. Let's see here. Out of 17 games, 159 targets for Tyreek Hill, he had a 69.8% catch percentage, a 10% difference. And for Travis Kelce, on 134 targets, he had a 68%. So it's, again, a 10-point difference. So when I say Cortland Sutton is underrated, I believe that. I think that he is very underrated. But at the same time, it's really hard to say that he's going to be a definite wide receiver one. Is he a wide receiver one in this group? By far. But he's not up to the standard that most of these other guys have as wide receiver ones, It's hard. It's really hard to say that he's going to be that dude. And I think that he's going to be better. I expect him to have 1,000 yards. I don't think that's insane.
No.
But only time will tell. When it comes to besides him, you have Jerry Jeudy, who's what if. I'll pull up his stats so that I can take a look at him as well. But I don't believe that so last year he only played 10 games. I guess he was injured part of last year. I didn't even realize that. 56 targets, 38 catches, 67% catch percentage. That's something you like to see. Smaller sample size, but much better catch percentage. About there on par with the guys that you want to get up there with. Problem is, 0 touchdowns. 12.3 yards per reception, so he's running solid routes, getting decent distance is what I was trying to say. But 467 yards. That's very concerning to me. Now, you're probably limited by the quarterback. I know there's Broncos fans who are screaming about Teddy Bridgewater can't throw a pass farther than 10 yards. And you know what? You're right. He probably can. Teddy Bridgewater has my arm, but it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, if you're a wide receiver who can even remotely get downfield, if you have Drew Lock, who is known for being like, hey, I'm just going to chuck it, and you're going to find your way to it. Trust me, I'm a Mizzou fan. I watched it for 4 years. He's going to throw the ball. He's going to throw it deep. Just run. Go get it. Like, the concerning stat to me is his rookie year. And again, you can probably take Drew Lock versus Teddy Bridgewater into consideration here, but my man had 113 targets and 52 receptions. 46% catch percentage. That's concerning. Granted, it jumped up heavily the next season, but he did not play all the games, which also worries me. All of this is a long-winded way to say he's a what-if, and he's a what-if that I expect to improve, but I don't know that I don't think you can sit there and say with a confident face that he's going to be 1,000 yards.
No. I think he can be like 700, 800. Sure, I'll give him that. But, outside of that, Tim Patrick has been, I've heard a lot of
Tim Patrick, I think, is underrated. I think he's probably an 800-yard receiver as well. But at the same time, people seem to think that Tim Patrick's just a scrub, which I don't think is fair at all.
No. He's not, but to me, and then the Broncos front seven. It's atrocious. They keep bringing up Bradley Chubb. He's injured every year.
He is injured fairly often, which is a very big concern to me. It's more their interior linebackers than it is their defensive front itself.
Who is their inside linebackers?
Josie Jewell, I believe, is one of the starters, and then
he's always injured.
Oh my god,
isn't he always injured?
Yep. Oh my gosh, what is the other guy's name?
Micah Kaiser? Oh wait,
I don't think it's I don't think it's him. I know that they drafted Baron Browning to add some depth there. I'm unfamiliar with how he did this past year. Did he must have left the team unless I'm losing my mind. I cannot seem for the life of me to find the other guy that I'm thinking of. I know that there's another one.
Alexander Johnson?
That might be it, yeah.
Is he there anymore or is he gone?
I don't see him. Unless, he might be tendered. In fact, we can check that out real quick. Alexander Johnson. AJ Johnson, apparently, is what he goes by as well. He's currently a free agent. So, probably Baron Brown, pardon me. it's probably him at this point because you spent a second-round pick on him. You probably expect him to start at this point. Baron Browning, not Baring Brown. It's Baron Browning. Jesus Christ. My guy is a tongue twister for a name. But I worry about him. I worry about them and their health, and then I worry about their defensive tackles. I think are an okay-ish position. You could definitely use some improvement there. Edge, you need to stay healthy, and now who is going to be across from that of Bradley Chubb? Let's say that Bradley Chubb even stays healthy. Cool. Who's on the other side? So some concern for sure, but I'd be interested to see how they draft. That's for certain. You good there, man?
Yeah, no, I'm just reading something. He was talking about Bradbury being talked in trades. I'm just looking at some of the stuff, but
apparently the Chiefs had agreed to a trade with that or with him, but with the Giants they agreed to a trade that involved him, but they tried to extend his contract, and he was having none of it because we did not want to pay him $14 million a year.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know if you want to talk about the Chiefs or the Raiders first.
It's up to you, man.
We can talk about the Raiders. I mean, I would say that we kind of did what we needed to at corner. I mean, we fixed up and we got right with man corners. People want to bring up how we lost Casey Hayward, but I'm not really worried about losing Casey Hayward when we don't run zone. I mean, why would we keep?
I understand that, but the one thing I will say is, so your starters are Hobbs, Rock Sin, and who?
It'll be between Mullen and Averett, which I think Averett kind of has a chance to win out just because he's actually shown up and working with the team at this point. And Mullen, I mean, he has not shown up with the team yet. I know they're voluntary, but, like, again, you kind of want to show up.
They're voluntary by force.
But Mullen also has an injury issue at times. And we'll have to see what he does coming off that injury from last year.
In general, that's a worry to me then, because I trust Hobbs to be at least a solid slot, depending on the year. You know, like I don't mean that to sound disrespectful, but I'm saying, like, if last year was potentially just a fluke, I expect him to always be at least solid. You know?
No, I think he can take a step up because he actually has. To me, I think he has. We have a pretty nice corner core around him.
I worry about this. Pardon me. I worry about the scheme changing. I'm not sure how much it's changing with this new coaching staff.
I mean, under Patrick Graham, I mean, we fixed up a few things. We got better at run stopping with Chandler Jones from Yannick because Yannick couldn't run stop if his life was dependent on it. Chandler Jones can at least run stop at a very steady level. I like Bylaw. He's a very nice run stopping D tackle, and he can pass rush. He's shown both of those, but I think he has one of the better duos. I think he has a great DN duo around him. Linebacker, I think Jayon's our best best coverage linebacker we've had in a while. Divine Diablo is going to come up, and I think he's going to be all right. So, yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, I worry about – so just in general, when it comes to worries, I would say one corner is kind of a worry. You know, Mullen, because whether or not he's going to stay healthy, and if he stays healthy, can he produce at a high level? And then I think probably your linebackers is the next area of concern. Just because I know there's a lot of change there. Because I know you guys used to run with, is Perriman still there, or am I losing my mind?
He's there. I don't know if he's going to start, probably, nor should he. I mean, at this point, he's nice in tackling, but we don't really need that. We need coverage linebackers that can also tackle. I'm personally a fan of Jayon Brown over Perriman, just for the fact that, Perriman cannot cover if his life was dependent on it. Divine Diablo showed very good promise at the end of the year when he was given higher reps. And I think I think he's probably better than Abram at this point. I think he can be better than Abram. Abram, to me, is kind of a guy that's going to, play every there once in a while if he can, run stop, and that's fine.
So is that by saying that, are you saying Abram doesn't start at safety?
No. It's probably Duron Harmon.
Who's the others? Who?
At this point, Duron Harmon. I mean, he's the only other guy. I mean, unless unless we roll with Tyree Gillespie, which his coaching staff's kind of worked with, and he was a very nice coverage corner or coverage safety in college. So
His pro comparison, ironically enough, was the Honey Badger. So that'll be an interesting one to me. See how he develops. He's another Mizzou guy.
Hey, you know what? You're a Mizzou guy. Explain it to me. Was he great in college? I didn't really get to watch him.
He was impactful. Great would say that was consistent. He showed flashes of, hey man, I can do this, and then there was also moments where it's like, hey man, who let me do this? You know.
Hey, you know what? I think every guy has that moment in the NFL, and I think.
But it's not. It wasn't just a moment.
Yeah,
every time, I will admit, watching Tyree Gillespie tape was hilarious because every time you could either sit there and be like, this man is about to absolutely make a highlight reel play, or this man is about to have a highlight reel play made on him. Every time was an interesting thing.
I wouldn't be opposed to us drafting I don't know exactly who's at safety in the third round at that point, fourth round.
You're looking at probably Cook, Cross.
Yeah, is Cross the guy from Illinois?
No, that's Kirby Joseph.
Oh wait, no, is that the Maryland guy? There was a Big Ten, Maryland guy. Yeah, I think I'm kind of a fan of him, but if Tyree Gillespie can show he can play better than he did at Mizzou at times, I mean we as you talked about, him and I mean the trio. I mean even Duron Harmon coming off the bench isn't bad. I think he's
the only thing that I like I said, that when it comes to safety, I think you guys have the potential to get there. It's about the consistency of it, and then the other thing
I brought up Abram because if you're a Raider fan, you got to see the clip today. He literally was supposed to be in coverage from the linebacker position, and the guy falls flat on his face. And I'm kind of at this point, okay, you know what? I'm fine if you don't even take a step on the field as a safety because holy shit! Every time he played, either he made a highlight reel in the background because he can make a sack, or he just got thrown around like a rag doll, and then he also did get mossed by a running back, a tight end, and
the running back one was probably a top 10 play for me last.
No, it is. I mean, it was bad. It was bad because I really don't want this guy to ever step foot back on
that, and the shock on his face of looking back at me that was a fucking running back that just did that to me. He's 5'8". What the hell was that?
Hey,
oh man,
that running back had some hops on him, but that running back.
Gotta love Darrell Williams.
I just
is a fucking beast.
And I'm not even a hater of Abram, but I bring it up, and I really don't want this guy to ever step foot back on a safety field because I mean the guy sucks in coverage. He's better in the front seven area. I like Kyler Fackrell, as a outside linebacker if he can play off the bench. Sure, whatever, or however we want to run the front seven, because that's still in question of how we run the front seven. We have Cleveland Furl, who I wouldn't even be opposed to playing because, what's this guy's number one concern? It's run stopping. And what does Cleveland Furl do better than anything? He run stops.
Get drafted at 4.
Yeah, I don't know.
He does that pretty well.
I mean, we had a terrible front office drafting for us, so we also had John Gruden drafting. Instead of Mike Mayock, who had when he had his picks, he drafted Hunter Renfrow, Nate Hobbs,
You all just couldn't draft in the first round to save your life. And then on top of that, Mayock's picks are always, and this goes back even past the Raiders tenure. Even when he was just an analyst, when he was talking about late round guys, he's yeah, this guy's going to be a beast. That dude was either a beast or arrested for drug charges within 3 months.
I mean, Mayock under this team, he had 5 picks under control. He did control the Tyree Gillespie pick. He controlled the Nate Hobbs pick, Max Crosby pick. He controlled the Hunter Renfrow pick. So those were picks that he was notable for. Tyree Gillespie has yet to step on the field because I think he had injury issues and he just couldn't get healthy year 1. So we'll see how he does in year 2. I honestly don't think he needs. I mean, and people want to bring up, go sign Tyrann Mathieu for your safety. Well, as far as you told me, the guys, I mean, and as far as I've seen, he wasn't the same in coverage. So I don't know if I want him or not.
Tyrann Mathieu is an average coverage safety.
Yeah.
If you ask him to be in coverage, can he do it? Yeah. Is he going to do it at the level that you're going to expect for signing somebody with the name of Tyrann Mathieu? No. that his role in Kansas City was, you're going to be our robber. You're going to be the really fast guy that, like, when they try to throw a deep ball and then they're like, they can't burn the safety deep. I guess we're just going to wait for our wide receiver to, come back underneath. Tyrann Mathieu was the guy who caught up to that receiver and said, yeah, that's mine now. As Lamar Jackson found out in his return, which was kind of hilarious because you could see on the sideline, Lamar Jackson was like, who the fuck was that linebacker? And then he realized that it was a safety. But no,
Yeah.
Tyrann Mathieu is not elite in coverage. I don't feel like that's a crazy statement to say.
No, it's
Chiefs
not.
fans are gonna, and I mean, Chiefs fans are probably gonna say, "Oh, he was great. He was great. He was great. He had interceptions." Yeah, he had interceptions from the robber role, not from the deep safety role. There's a reason that Dan Sorensen was playing there, and that's a reason that he got burned so badly by Dawson Knox, is because Dan Sorensen was put as a deep safety and got caught up behind the line.
I think I remember one play.
Like,
I remember watching the one play where, like, Tyrann Mathieu, like, was completely losing his mind because he's like, hey, I'm supposed to be playing up here and you're supposed to play back there and you just got your ass, like.
Yeah, no, the famous play is Tyrann Mathieu looking at Dan Sorensen and just throwing his hands up in the air and saying literally, what the fuck? Because Sorensen would get caught watching behind the line of scrimmage too often.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's cool and everything. When you're playing that robber role, that's fine because, you're a linebacker at that point just as much as you are a safety.
Yeah.
When you're the deep safety, nobody gives a shit what's going on up there. Get your ass back.
Yeah. Pretty sure you guys probably should have played Juan Thornhill more, but I guess
early on, yeah. But I'm pretty sure that Spagnuolo had, like, I don't know if Thornhill was seeing his daughter or what was up, but he just did not want to do it.
No.
But finally, when he started playing, we started having one side of the field that was actually, oh look, they're not throwing deep to the left. Wonder why that is. Wow.
Well, I was saying that he should have been playing more, like, from the start of this.
He should have.
He should have. I was surprised that the Saints wanted Sorensen.
Hey, man, everybody's got to have their Make-A-Wish kid, and theirs happens to be making a salary from them. So good for them, bro. No, all jokes aside, though, like, Dan Sorensen was a great guy. He's just lost a step, like, mentally and physically when it comes to football. So I probably only got a few more minutes on here. I'm probably going to hop off at about 9. So you want to get into the Chiefs real quick?
Yeah.
If we trade for Deebo Samuel, I might become a fan of the Indianapolis Colts. That's the one thing that we're going to go ahead and just state now because, like, I cannot do it. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it at all. Why would you trade for somebody that wants the same money that Tyreek Hill has? It's not Tyreek Hill. But no, in terms of offseason overall, like, the Chiefs fans are going to freak out and say, oh, our defense is awful. Oh, my God, it's terrible. No, it's not. Calm yourselves. So when it comes to Tyrann Mathieu, people are like, why'd you let him go? He was losing a step, and the guy clearly caused rifts within the organization. I don't think that's unfair to say. The man has the Twitter account of a 4-year-old. He tweets what he's feeling, what he's thinking at any open time, and does not care. And you know what? Power to him for that. But, like, at the same time, buddy, you're a professional. I need you to give me something here. I need you to be able to shield yourself a little bit from that. So he was gone. We replaced him with Justin Reed. I think it's a good option. I think it was a great upgrade, to be honest with you, because I think Justin Reed is more athletic and can do the things that Tyrann Mathieu needed to do. But this season, his health was a problem as well as his production. So seeing him or getting someone who's younger, has the potential to become just as good and is more athletic, I think that's an upgrade in my book. I feel comfortable with Thornhill back there. When it comes to cornerbacks, we have 2 starters of our 3 that are currently on the roster in an elite slot corner in Snead, who's done it year in, year out. Fenton, who shut down Jamar Chase. People don't give him enough credit for that game. One of the reasons that we were doing so well against the Bengals, Jamar Chase was shut down by Fenton until Fenton hurt his hip. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he cracked it. Like, that was a big thing to him. I want to say it was hip, but it could have been knee. Now I'm thinking about this. I just remember picturing him limping and then, like, scooting across the field as he tried to get off. But Fenton was a great corner. I think he's going to be great still. We have to find another starter, but this team has a knack for developing guys late in the draft, so I don't mind that at all. Like, we found Snead in the 5th round. Fenton was a 6th round pick. Like, I don't feel bad about that. Besides, our safeties are the main focus. In terms of defensive line, we were promised upgrades. I expect something big on draft night. Some people I'd like to see us grab would be love to see us grab a Jabo, love to see us grab Mafe, love to see us grab Cameron Thomas is the big one on my board out of San Diego State. Big, powerful guy, is the Spags type of end, and really seems to have an all-together game. I think that he would be a lot higher if he wasn't playing for San Diego State. Because
the smaller schools are overlooked. They're overlooked.
Yeah, when your pro comparison is Aaron Donald, that says a lot. Like, Buddy was dominating at a very, very high level. But then people are like, oh, you're playing for San Diego State. It doesn't matter. It's like, bro, watch the tape. He does it.
I mean, you look at Max Crosby. He was from a small school. You look at Darius Leonard. He was from a small school. There's guys that are from smaller schools that have dominated the NFL, and I don't understand what this.
The one thing I will say is that for every one of those guys you get, though, holy cow! I guess there's a fire near me. The fire truck just blew its horn outside. But if you look at, or for every one of those, Max Crosby's, Darius Leonard's, you get a Colin Sanders.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I will say. But I think that everything that I've seen about Thomas screams to me that he's going to be able to, at the very least, produce at a decent level at the next level.
Yeah.
And so I'm screaming for the Chiefs to be able to draft him. In terms of offense, we have the best quarterback in the league. I would argue we at least have the best offensive line in the division. I think that you could make a case for us being top 5 in the league. If right tackle stayed healthy, I think you could make that argument a lot easier. Yeah. Wide receiver core is definitely weaker without Tyreek, but I think people look at it too much as Juju is Tyreek's, is the upgrade to Tyreek. That's a downgrade. MVS is the downgrade then to Byron Pringle, which that's not even that big of a downgrade. Mecole is Mecole. People just
Byron Pringle, I mean, I don't know if MVS is. I mean, I think MVS is going to produce in this offense. Not saying he's going to put up 1,000 yards. I think you should draft one wide receiver in this draft, and then that San Diego State guy that what was it? Sanders?
Cameron Thomas.
Oh, Cameron Thomas. I just think.
I don't know, but
Sanders, I think he'll produce.
We run out of here though with a first 3 picks of Cameron Thomas, Boye Mafe, and Jameson Williams. And I'm going to tell you now, people are going to laugh. We're not missing the same beat. We're not missing the beat. Because Jameson Williams, I think, even if he doesn't play up to his standards right away, we have a wide receiver core that's built very well.
Yep.
In that we have an elite, Juju can be an elite number 2. I don't think that's I think that's known. That's not just a question,
Yeah.
Mecole is a solid 3. He's always going to be a solid 3. And MVS is then an elite 4, in my opinion, because he's an upgrade over DeMarcus Robinson.
Yep.
So I think that if we get Jameson Williams, I think that wide receiver core takes a significant step up because that guy can become your 1. And back to the original thing you and I were talking about in this, when it comes to who has the best offense in the division, I don't think the Chargers really are there.
Nope.
Because I think you're you can make all your jokes about the Chiefs don't have a wide receiver 1. Cool, you have Mike Williams, pardon me. Cool, you have Storm Norton starting at right tackle. We have Lucas Niang.
Yeah, I'm taking Lucas Niang. I think Cole Miller is probably one of them. I mean, I'm not saying the Raiders' whole line's great, but I mean, I think Cole Miller is a top tier tackle in the league. Andrew James is on his way to become a top tier center in the league. I think he's probably the second best or third best center in this league at this point. I just forgot that Cortland Sutton was in this division, but I mean,
you say third best in the division?
Well, I'm not even saying that's bad because I think that this division, I mean, Corey Linsley's debatably one of the best centers in the league at this point.
I stand by this. He got first team All Pro only because of name value, because it still pisses me off. Creed Humphrey had a better year. He will not be able to convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
That man deserved Offensive Rookie of the Year. I don't give a shit. Jamar Chase, eat your heart out. Creed Humphrey deserves that. Okay. The second I saw Creed Humphrey walk into the Chiefs Stadium wearing overalls, a cowboy hat, and carrying a barbecue to-go box, that man won Rookie of the Year in my heart.
But I mean, I think Andrew James at the end of the year rated in the top 10 centers. I think that's pretty good to know. But we also now got one of the best offensive or the offensive line coach. I mean, we got one of the best offensive line coaches in the league, and people want to bring up how we brought back the same guys. Well, we brought back the same guys because those guys saw things on tape that they liked, and they said, "Oh, we can fix that." So I think I'm not even. I mean, I don't think this is crazy to say, but the Raiders' whole line can produce better than it's ever has because, well, Tom Cable. Let's be honest, he was just a name. You know, in the past, he did wonders to O linemen, and he was one of the best O line coaches.
So, can you connect one dot for me, please?
Okay.
When it comes to all of the AFC West offensive lines, I think the only real question among them is mainly right tackle. Who is y'all's option
for a right tackle?
Yeah, because I think Colton Miller's your left tackle. It's fine. You know, we can talk about that. But who's the right?
So it's gonna be between whether this coaching staff feels that Alex Leatherwood can be the right tackle because I know that's what he was in college, but I would be fine with him at right guard or left guard, whatever you want to play him as. Coleman, I mean, yeah, you have Andre James there. We signed Alex Bars, who showed potential at right tackle on the Bears. You have Brandon Parker, who I know played really bad at times, but there was at times that he was able to hold his ground. So I guess if this coaching staff can fix it, I guess you're between Alex Bars there and then him. And then your left guard is Denzel Good, who actually was decent before he got injured. You have Jermaine Luminor for depth. The depth-wise, I think we're better than we've probably been. Just because, if we lose a guy, sure, we have other guys that can plug and play. You don't need really I think this offense takes a step up, and to me, I think it's a top 10 offense in the league. If everything stays healthy, you can say even top 5.
I think it's going to be interesting because the one thing I do worry about you guys is your offensive line.
Yeah,
that's my main concern with you guys' offense. Which I don't know. I feel like that's fair, but
yeah.
I think that I'm trying to think who is Denver's right tackle. Is it Juwan James?
Still? Yeah, maybe
for the 4 games he's available.
Yeah.
So I feel like games. He normally. Let me make sure of that, but I feel like he normally has an injury problem.
I think he does too. He was out all last year.
How do you spell Juwan? Is it
JAWWUN?
Oh, JA. Okay. Oh, it's 2A. That's Jawan Taylor. I'm an idiot. That's not the right guy.
Wrong guy.
Juwan James. Oh my lord, there's an apostrophe and everything. He's currently on the Baltimore Ravens. And this is the wrong Juwan James.
I don't know if Juwan James missed all last year, so.
Let me check his stats, see what team he played. Yeah, he played for Denver last year. 3 games. So I don't know who the right tackle is, but I think right tackle is the weakest position among the entire division's offensive line. And I feel like I'm not too far out of line here saying that I think that the Chiefs have the best right tackle in that group. Yes, no, maybe so.
I'm sorry, who? I'm sorry, I looked at messages for a moment.
You're good, man. I said that I think right tackle is the question mark among the entire division for the offensive line.
Yeah, I think that pretty much summarizes how this division is going to go.
But my question is, I feel like I'm not losing my mind when I say that the Chiefs probably have the best right tackle in that group.
Yeah, and I think that, I'll be honest, it's probably not saying much because I think every right tackle in this division is pretty maybe average left to nothing.
The problem is that I genuinely don't know who Denver has.
It's that, you know what? That's a good question, but that O-line's been talking reckless. It's been talking about, he was getting hit in Denver. He's not going to get hit here. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
I mean, hey, man, dude, I don't know.
Garrett Bowles was the guy that was talking reckless. He was like, we're going to make sure he doesn't get hit here. You do realize you're still in it. You're in the AFC West, or in the AFC West, who does have good pass rushers.
We'll get them. We're still working on that. They're still in shipping, but we'll get there.
They'll come in the next 5 years, right?
Billy Turner, that's right. Billy Turner is Denver's right tackle.
Oh yeah, they just signed him. Wow,
I forgot about him. But no, I still think he ranks 2nd or 3rd at best. I think Storm Norton, even for how sick his name is probably the worst one.
Yes.
But
This division will be, I think, honestly, this division comes down to who is going to be able to have the best defense possibly within this division. So,
I don't even think it's going to come down to that because I think there's too much firepower on offense for every team's defense to shut them down.
no, I don't think
Yeah.
any defense is going to shut down anyone, but we'll have to see how this division plays out. Can't wait.
I think coaching is going to play a huge part here, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But anyways, I appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah.
I got to hop off, so
I will talk to you
have a
another
good
time.
one.
See ya.
See ya.